Hi guys, so here's like another video. So I decided that I may not always have the time to craft, but I am always interested by crafting stuff. So and sometimes I'll be talking about things that are like mostly related to scrapbook. Sometimes maybe remotely related, but it could be like something really far off, like creation care or something. So I will be talking about today. There's a comparison between two products, just in case you want to wonder which one you want to buy if you can only have like enough money just buy one. So both of these are clearly inspired by similar color palettes, and also by similar like design elements. These things, these particular like whole hand-drawn pattern sort of thing is kind of like a trend right now. Even if you don't find them in this color palette, you can definitely find them in something slightly less neonish, right? Like Alison Craft, for example, I remember seeing something similar by what's her name, Maggie Holmes as well. So they kind of have like this handmade inspired sort of stuff, like things that would kind of look more like they were hand drawn rather than they were drawn with ruler or with like very professional designs. And that's kind of fun because you do get like a more fun approach towards scrapbooking, because sometimes it can be a little bit too like serious, I think, for most people. I thought this was kind of like a good twist in the way that things are trending. They are released quite close to each other, and I think that's one of the things that you realize in scrapbooking is that when things come in trend, it isn't just like one company that picks it up, but different companies will pick it up, especially if they want to enter into like that sort of like trend market with everybody else. There are particular like brands which kind of like stay true to themselves. Not to say that these don't, but I think they go with the trend, which is also good because they explore other aspects of like scrapbooking that keeps it going, the industry going. Because if you're always doing like the same old, like let's say vintage or shabby chic sort of design, and when let's say another like company comes in and do that, you're going to compete with them, and you have nothing really else to offer over a long period of time. But if you like build your brand around those stuff, and then that when people are looking for vintage stuff, like for example, they'll go to like Seven Gypsies or like Tim Holtz or like Graphics 45 for things which are like things with very deep colors, but as well as incorporating the images in a different way. Then people will go to these brands for these things. But if your brand was not built like that, your brand was built differently, then going with the trend is actually not a bad thing at all. So just want to do some quick show some of the similarities and differences. Similarities, the obvious ones, are the color palettes are similar. Only slight difference is the plus one. The color, especially this greenish here, almost never appears in this. Okay, now if I want to flip to the actual page for where it happens, because the actual printouts on these things, it's not really the same as the one inside. Like if you do like a direct comparison, it is obvious that when the same pattern is printed on like the cover, they tend to be like deeper and brighter. But when it's like inside, not as much. So I think in terms of color similarity, it seems to be similar to this, but it actually isn't. Like this, I think it's just a camera that's picking it up, but in actual fact, this is a little bit more pastel and deeper as compared to this. Okay. The other similarity would be in the design elements, clearly, of things which are like handwritten or drawn on and that sort of stuff. And as well as, I think one of the things I appreciate about both these collections is that they have black and white, which are important if you're doing cards, because sometimes when the entire collection is just filled with the brights and very little neutrals, it's really hard to match it on a card, and you have to like balance out between like other aspects of like contrasting designs, like say between like pattern sizes or like offsetting something that's really noisy with something that is probably like less noisy in terms of like pattern design, repetition, pattern size and stuff, which may be a bit challenging for some people. So I kind of appreciate they actually did have like the black and whites here, which help, which is easier to coordinate stuff with. Okay, and the differences which I highlighted besides the color, which is this one, differences between the Highline as well as the plus one is that you can almost tell from the patterns. The characteristics of the patterns in the one from Basic Grey is that they're a lot more serious, if you will. Besides having this thing which is more like a scribbly fun thing, right? And the different colors which are bright, neonish, and kind of fun. But actually, the patterns on their own, they're actually very clean. Let's look at the one that looks like they're pixels, for example. And also the one that are like lines which are drawn to create a kind of like a black and white pattern. Yeah, I missed it. Shucks. Yeah, look at that. So, in a certain sense, Highline has more of a serious kind of look. And this is helpful because if you are creating a card and you want to have contrast, not just in terms of whether or not it is like pattern size and whatnot, but also contrast between like something that is more solid and grounded versus something that's more playful. The Highline collection actually incorporates an entire theme inside, whereas for the Amy Tangerine ones, everything is relatively playful because they're kind of like all like hand drawn ish. Very little like patterns which are grounded in that sense. They have a couple, but not as much. So that's like one like major difference. The second major difference, which is obvious, is even though they are both from the same similar color palette, the depth of the color in Highline is relatively just more serious. Like they clearly take a lot more effort to make sure that things are blended nicely together, and that the range of the colors within things which are meant to be like a mix of colors, for example, is there's a lot more depth in the color design, whereas in plus one, even though there are times when they try to do the whole ombre effect thing, but most of the time, most of the patterns, as you can see, the color is kind of like more flat, and which may not be a bad thing, because if you want to do something that's more fun, more like for like outdoors and stuff, this is actually pretty cool. Oh, my flash is going off for some weird reason. But okay, since I'm seeing most of it. So that's kind of like the difference in both of these things. So if there is like one word to characterize it and you're like in a shop, you see both collections, you're thinking to yourself like, which one do I want to get? Because I love the color palette, but I just want to get one of them because I know I wouldn't be using like every single paper and all of them in the same paper pad, right? If you're going for like a more serious sort of look, Highline is really good for like more formal-ish kind of look, while having the occasional playfulness. Whereas on the other hand, going for like extremely playful stuff like Holiday of Kids, for example, or kindergarten, like scrabbling of like maybe like your child at the kindergarten or something, then the plus one collection will be very fun for that. And both of them have like very good colors. Oh, and one extra thing is that this actually has sort of like kind of like a cutout thing, which is kind of similar to like the whole idea of like the modular scrapbooking kind of concept, but this probably can't fit into like most of your pockets anyway. But yeah, it can be kind of fun to have this cut out and then stuck them down the pages in a similar fashion. Yep, so that's my really long ranty review of stuff. I'm gonna make cards out of these, and I kind of like prepared all my supplies. Ta-da! And I kind of want to like not waste money and like buy new stamps, or rather than use the stamps I already have to make the cards. So yeah, watch out for that. So you're gonna see like old collection stamps with new pattern paper. I'm gonna make cards out of those. Yeah. So I made posts on a couple of videos like here and there with relation to using this tool, and I may even use some like Ellison Craft like products which are similar to like the feel of like the designs here. So alright, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.